Let's take a look at this budgeted cash collections problem. Now I'll read it to you. Riley Inc., a distributor of salsa, has the following historical collection pattern for its credit sales. And I'll just click up here and you can see. So what information did they tell us? Well, they told us that 75% of its collections are collected in the month of sale, then 15% in the first month after that, then 5%, 4%, and 1% respectively. And then they gave us the sales on account that were budgeted, okay? So there's our budgeted sales. All right, so with that information, they say compute the estimated total cash collections during October from credit sales. Well, what we've got to do is drop in these percentages. Now, I've done that here, so let me just bring that to light. And I went ahead and put that in beforehand so that we could do this relatively quickly. All right, let's turn that in as percentages. So there's our percentage amounts, and you can see it totals to 99%, which makes sense because 1% is never collected. That should say total there. Okay, and then what we want to do is do the multiplication. So if I just bring this to light, you can see I've done the calculations here, and let's format that a little bit better. Let's go to a comma with no decimal places and maybe a dollar sign in the first location. Okay, so 6,000, 8,000, 3,170. If we were to sum it, to calculate the total, we come up with 215,390. Now that's appears in bold because that's the correct answer. Okay, so that's the estimated total cash collected during October. Now the next question says, okay, you can see the sum. And by the way, if you want to see the formulas, you can look up here. Let's take what's in C13 by D13. All right, now then it says compute the estimated total cash collections during the fourth quarter from sales made on account during the fourth quarter. All right, so let's bring some other things to light here. Okay, so in the fourth quarter, we've got a little bit of math to do. Now, we can't rely on these percentages because now they change. But what we can do is proceed with the rules. 75% is collected in the month of sale. So if we put in 75% here and we multiply across 214 times 75%, we know we're going to collect 160,000 in December. Okay, but we're going to collect some other amounts too. And this gets a little bit more complicated. In the month of November, I'm just going to do it this way. 252,000 times 75% collected in the same month, and I'll just use the 75 that appeared there just so I don't have to type it in, will be collected in the current month, plus we're going to collect 15%, right, the second month, times that amount. All right, so for the month of November, we're going to collect a different amount as well. Okay, now let's take a look at October, and I'm going to use a little bit of a different approach here. I'm going to say, well, how much of October is going to be collected in the fourth quarter? So I'm going to take the 227 and I'm going to multiply it by the total of the percentages that we know are going to collect. So we know we're going to collect 75% in October, and we're trying to come up with the fourth quarter, and then we're going to collect 15% of that in November, and then we're going to collect another 5% of it, right, 2 months previous. So if we use it that way, I can come up with that amount, which is $215,650. Okay, now, if I underline this, we can calculate our new total. Just use an auto sum. And we come up with $603,325, and that is the correct amount. Now, just to be consistent, I want to do this all the same way. Okay, 75% times 214,500 is all we'll collect in the fourth quarter of the sales from December. Now I'm going to take the sales in November and multiply it times 75%, which we'll collect in November, because they told us 75% is collected. And then you're going to collect the second month, or the first month after sale, you're going to collect 15%. So we're only going to grab 2 months because we're only going to collect November sales in November and December. So again, I'm trying to be consistent between this formula here and this formula and this formula. And again, the total is still 603, 325. Let me format that so it's similar. And those are our two answers, and that's how we solve this problem, everyone.